We've learnt C and F in the first half, and I think what we should do now is go into exercise 9 and combine the two chords over the strum pattern of the quarter notes and the eighth notes.
The one that we know already, yeah?
Okay, so exercise 9 here, we have 2 bars of C major, and then we have 2 bars of F major, and it's our old friend, the 2 quarter notes and the 4 eighth notes.
1, 2, 3 and 4
and, yes.
All right, I've put this up to 110 for you.
110, yes. Again, this thing just, it feels a little bit easier from the strumming point of view. I have to reiterate, though, if the chord changes are too difficult at any speed, slow back down.
Good advice. So C first of all. F.
Only 4 strings on F.
4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and back to C. 5 strings on C.
4 on F. Okay.
There we go.
I'd just like to say something about the economy of movement. You need to be able to land on any chord from any other chord, okay? So when you have a chord completely learnt and you really, really know it well, you can get to it from anywhere on the fingerboard, and it won't be a problem. But when you're trying to learn to change chords, if there's some problems, always look at the chord you're going to and the chord you're coming from and see if there's anything you can do that will tie them in. So for example, C to F, as we spoke before at the break, is quite a good one for economy of movement because it's almost the same shape.
Yeah.
It's almost the same shape. It's not completely different like G, for example. So we can see quite easily, okay, well, our fingers are already in the correct frets. We can drop 1 string down towards the floor for fingers 2 and 3, and we just have to flatten our first finger over. So try and get used to that movement. However, you might be changing, let's say, from C to D, shall we say. C to D really have very little in common physically. But again, I would look at that and say, well, okay, at least my 3rd finger's already in the correct fret for D.
Yeah.
And actually my 2nd finger's in the correct fret for D. And if I look at it, you know, even more in an involved manner, I can see that these 2 fingers relate to each other in a C chord and the way they relate to each other in a D chord.
One above, one below, yeah.
Yeah, so you just need to look and see if there's any common movements at all. Again, G to D really has very little in common again, but I can see that my 3rd finger only has to move 1 string up from string 1 to string 2. So again, I see a lot of movement where people will be playing G, they go to D, they take the hand off completely, lay the fingers down one bar, my 3rd finger's now wandered miles away, and then I've brought it back. It's like, why? It's only got to move a couple of millimetres onto, so try and see the shortest route to where you're going to. I think that's very important when you're struggling with chord changes. After a while, when you've got the muscle memory, you'll be able to play all of them without even thinking. Easy.
We can't wait for that day.
Yeah, well, let's move on and see if we can help some people out with that. If we run round the exercises that complete lesson number 9, we're starting to combine all the chords we've learnt so far. So in exercise 11 here, we're playing G, E minor, C and D. I think we learnt G and E minor in lesson 7. We learnt C today in lesson 9, and we learnt D in lesson 8. So we're combining them all together, and again, this should sound similar to some songs you might have heard before.
All right. So if I load up the extractor for you.
Yeah, and again, if we can play this one at 110, again, I'd like to comment on the fact that if the chord changes are too difficult at that speed, slow it right down, and feel free even to play the chords just on quarter notes until you get comfortable with the chord changing. You know, if it's difficult for you, you maybe don't want to be worrying about the strumming at the same time. Nothing wrong with going back and just playing bars of quarter notes. So you get the changes together, then put the strumming back in.
Build it up step by step.
Yeah, of course.
All right, here we go. Coming in 1, 2, 3, 4. That's G. Changing to the E minor. C. Changing to the D. Again, G. To the E minor. C. That changes to the D. G. E minor. C. D. E minor, Okay. Good stuff.
That's the type of thing we're aiming for. That now really sounds like you can play, and it sounds like the type of thing you'd maybe accompany a singer with, or that type of guitar playing.
It sounds good. I might go busking with that one.
You'd make a fortune.
Down to exercise 12?
Exercise number 12, yes. Here we've got C, which again we've just learnt today.
Yeah.
A minor, which we learnt back in lesson 7. F, which we've learnt today, and G, which we also learnt in lesson 7. This is an interesting exercise because now we've got to accommodate the F chord with the bar.
Ah, yeah.
But up until this point, we've only dealt with F in the context of to and from C.
Yeah.
So now we've got to get to it from A minor.
And then
we've got from it to G, so you know, we've got to pay extra attention here. This is probably the hardest exercise we've had so far.
Could we just break that down without the extractor?
Of course we can,
on the fretboard? Take me from A minor to F, and then from the F to the G.
Okay, well in fact I might even go a step back from that. If you look at the C chord, C is actually a very similar chord to A minor. Fingers 1 and 2 are in exactly the same place for C that they are for A minor. So when I go from C to A minor, I just drop my third finger down into fret 2, string 3. If you can see that movement between C and A minor, it's only one finger movement.
So that's fret 1, finger 1, string 2.
Yes.
Fret 2, finger 2.
Yes.
Fret 4.
String 4.
String 4, sorry.
Yes.
And then fret 3,
fret 3, string 5. That's it. You got it. It's hard looking the wrong way around, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to work it all up out.
Exactly.
Back to front.
It's easier from where I am.
Okay.
So you've got C down to A minor.
Yeah.
That's a small movement. That should be relatively easy. Then when we're going from A minor to F, our first finger is again kind of in the right place. We've got to turn it into a little bar, but at least it's already on the second string. Our second finger is also in the correct fret already, so that needs to drop down to the third string.
That was similar to the movement that we did.
Yeah. And then the third finger reaches back out again. So the movement is that. I think when you see anybody who can actually change chords, it never looks like, if it's 3 fingers, it doesn't look like 3 movements. It looks like one mechanism, to my way of thinking anyway. You're trying to go from that shape to that shape. You may have to think about the individual fingers to create that, but ultimately you want that shape moving to that, not this one goes here, that one, not 3 separate moves, one movement.
It's robotic almost.
Robotic.
All right,
that's A minor to F, and then the F to the G. Again, there's really very little common ground between F and G. The only thing I can see is that my third finger's already in the correct fret, and I've got to twist round like that from F to G. That's the tricky one. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do this thing.
Okay.
110 BPM.
110, why not?
And here we go. Starting first with the C. This is
Yep.
exercise 12. Same rhythm that we're used to. That's A minor, F, and G. C, A minor, changing to F, changing to G, back to C, A minor, changing to F, then to G, C, A minor, F, and G.
And of course with the guitar extractor you can put the loop button on and play that round all day if you want to.
Because that's quite quick, obviously, when you're
It's
going
going
at a high
quite
BPM.
fast, and it's over in, I don't know, 15 seconds or something. So you can loop it and keep going round and round and round and slow it down again if it's a little bit too fast. Exercise 13 now, we've got C to E minor, which is a really nice chord change actually. Get used to the sound of the changes.
Let's have a look at it and let's have a listen to that in isolation.
Okay, here's a chord of C, going to a chord of E minor. Nice minor sound there. There's an economy of movement here. My second finger's already in the correct place, so I can sort of pivot on my second finger.
Oh yeah, literally
Round
move
into E minor. Yeah, I don't have to take my hand away. Just C, round into E minor. We've then got F, which is our tricky chord, I would say.
Yeah.
Again, not really very much common ground there at all.
It's pivoting back the other way.
Yeah, your second finger's in the correct fret at least. And then the F to G we dealt with in the last exercise.
Yeah. Okay, so this is building